here is how right-wing media is framing this, because, you know, they have the dressings of populism. Eric Bolling, he wants to be like, hey, the liberals condescend to you. We're for the working person. We're for the forgotten flyover country or the middle of America. We're not coastal elites. But here they have somebody on their program, a worker, or is it an attorney for the rail workers?
Both. There's two. There's a retired rail worker and an attorney for rail workers. Okay.
Just look at how Eric Bolling immediately tries to shut down the conversation in favor of the rail industry, and not so much in favor of the rail workers.
Well, the bottom line is that's all sounds well and fine, but the railroads are making record profits and they post it all the time. So we're asking for literally.
Stop that. I can't do that. I can't do that, Eric. They allowed to. That's the American way. That's constitutional. They're not doing anything wrong. You're allowed to make a profit, even if it's a lot of profit.
Wait, pause it. It's constitutional?
Yeah, clearly.
I did not know that the Constitution said, like, regional monopolies are the foundation of democracy and you should be allowed to gouge your workers. Oh, wait, there's no amendment to the Constitution that says that. The Constitution does not even say anything. I mean, it talks about commerce and such, but it's not like, well, we are a capitalist country, baby, let's go. There's nothing in there about that.
Well, some people would argue that that's what Jefferson meant when he said happiness, but I would disagree with that.
I mean, that's funny, but like, you know, even by the most like strict reading, I have no idea what the hell Eric Bolling is talking about.
Before we go back, I just want to make clear throughout this clip that, like, you know, besides all the reasons we know Bolling to be such an odious guy, he's just such an asshole.
I know.
Like, he's just like this guy. This is a like pedestrian retired rail worker that he's literally groaning at his responses.
No, stop it. Yeah. Stop it.
Like, let your guest talk. You literally brought him on your show.
I mean, is Bolling trying to claim that, like, any
scrutiny of profits
is unconstitutional,
or is an infringement of people's right to profit?
Let's go back to the beginning, because it's just, there's so much here.
Well, the bottom line is that's all sounds well and fine, but the railroads are making record profits and they post it all the time. So we're asking for literally.
Stop that. I can't do that. I can't do that, Eric. They allowed to. That's the American way. That's constitutional. They're not doing anything wrong. You're allowed to make a profit, even if it's a lot of profit.
Literally, I'm not opposed to them making a profit, but we're literally asking for pennies on the dollar. That's what we're asking for.
And if enough people walk off the job, Eric, if enough people walk off the job and they can't move the stuff from point A to point B, they're going to have to do it on their own. But that's going to be their choice to increase your salary and your benefits if they want to. Bill, you got 30 seconds.
Thank you. The real issue here is treating people fairly. Railroads don't even, when they want to fire somebody, they don't have to have 50-50 on their evidence. All they got to have is one official come in and say there's a rule violation. Why the public should care?
Come on, Bill.
Come on.
Bill, come on. You came on your show. I'm a libertarian. I come from the business world. Yeah. I'm a free marketeer. You come on the show and you're trying to convince me and my audience, who I believe sides with a lot of my views, I hope they do, that you're not allowed to fire someone if you want to, if you own the business. That's insanity.
It should be fair, though. It should be. That's the direction. You don't fire somebody in a kangaroo court, Eric. That's the problem.
Hey, Bill, you fire someone if you can't make ends meet. If the union says all of our workers, like Eric Mallow and the rest of them, need to be 20% higher, and they can't afford to do business, or they don't want to do business at that margin, they have the right to fire people in America until someone like you guys, no offense, get your hold on the American free market capitalist system and bring it down. But boy, am I thrilled that we're still holding on to it. I like you guys, like the discussion. We'll bring you both back again soon.
Oh, sure. I don't think so. I don't have the soundboard by me. But
listen, Bill, I have a right to shit can your ass whenever I want, okay?
Man, why doesn't he embrace debate, Eric Bolling?
Seriously.
I mean, Eric Bolling is right. That like about the way the government's set up, right? Like, it is constitutional to make giant profits because there's nothing in the Constitution that says you can't do that.
And he is right that it's the American way to crush unions. And like, look, when he says I'm a libertarian, I come from a business background, like, that's the contempt that is just bubbling beneath the surface for everyone in like the white collar sphere to unions.
It's tyranny of the boss. And also what these people don't want to continue to say is like, they also want it so when they do fire you, there's not a safety net, so you have to get your ass back to work for a different capitalist.
Yeah, and I just want to, like, since Bowling did not give either the rail worker or the lawyer for the rail workers any opportunity to talk, he kept returning to increases in wages, and their initial agreement did have an increase in wages, but the reason that they want sick leave is for the reasons I described earlier. The fact that they have to take vacation time if they are sick, or if they are sick and can't come into work, they don't get paid for that. That's insane, especially coming off of a pandemic. But Eric Levitz, who's one of my favorite writers to read because he just is, he does his research and it's very comprehensive, wrote about this in New York Magazine. And I just wanted to highlight this here. He asked this question here: why do these rail barons hate paid leave so much? Why would a company have no problem handing out 24% raises, $1,000 bonuses, and caps on healthcare premiums, but draw the line on providing a benefit as standard and ubiquitous throughout modern industry as paid sick days? Because those aforementioned increases were in the agreement that the unions ended up rejecting because there were not enough sick days. The answer, in short, is PSR, or Precision Scheduled Railroading. PSR is an operational strategy that aims to minimize the ratio between railroads' operating costs and their revenues through various cost-cutting and ostensibly efficiency-increasing measures. The basic idea is to transport more freight using fewer workers and rail cars. We've talked about this before on the show. They've cut down on their workforce significantly, and that's why they don't want to give sick leaves, because there's no redundancy.
McKinsey Institute psychopathy. That's what we're talking about here. And Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi are going to bat for it. And part of the squad helped them do that.
All this has worked out poorly for rail workers writ large. Over the past 6 years, America's major freight carriers have shed 30% of their employees. To compensate for this loss, remaining workers must tolerate irregular schedules and little time off, since the railroads don't have much spare labor capacity left. And when those efficiencies are created, like, the reason that they want efficiencies is because that goes upward to stock buybacks, to executives. It does not trickle down. If they were to more evenly distribute what the profits that they were making, that would not be an issue for them. That's why it's less of an issue for them to give bonuses and raises as opposed to increasing the workforce, because it undermines their efficiency model, which is why they're able to take home millions and millions of dollars in like executive pay and stock buybacks and such. So really, and the problem too is that they're regional monopolies, so they can essentially do what they want. What Eric Bowling wants is for that to be naturalized and for it not to be in any way, abated.
Yeah, scrutinized. I mean, this is a dangerous moment for the people who want to see bosses maintain power over workers, because it actually lays bare like how, I mean, you don't even have I mean, just think of like Republicans were more in control of any parts of the levers of power. The Democrats would be saying, well, elections have consequences. You should have voted for us harder.
Yeah, right.